Aparna Sen, appreciate your time. Ma'am, we have often spoken about mindset, that the mindset needs to change. But women remain vulnerable, and every time there is an incident, it shames us. But nothing seems to be changing. Why do you think that Indian workspaces are so unsafe for women? Aren't they supposed to be safe in their safe spaces? Workspaces are supposed to be safe spaces.
I think, frankly, that they're just callous. That they don't want to spend on make the necessary expenditure to install proper NDTV and security. Also, there is much to be desired in the security themselves, in the police force, because, as you rightly said, this has happened. We will have these marches, the whole country will be upset and awaken and aware for a little while, and then everything will subside, then another rape will happen, and it will go on as before. What needs to change is the mindset, is the patriarchal mindset. I've actually dealt with this in my film, The Rapist. The patriarchal mindset has to change, and it has to change from within families. It has to change in schools. That's what has to change to start with. The police themselves, who are supposed to be protecting us, you think that, I don't think any of us thinks that they are not of this kind of, they don't belong to the patriarchal mindset. They do. They absolutely do. Who are they going to protect? This is why I feel that it has to start at school, at instilling the right values in people, in children from a very young age. It has to start with families. It has to start with families respecting the women within the families, and the women respecting themselves. That's very, very important, I think. The women don't respect themselves enough. They still make differences, even in cities, even in the urban, educated middle class. They still will, give preference to the male child over the female child. They will tell the female child, you can't do certain things because you're a girl. And, the way the mother is treated, the way sisters are treated, the boys see all this. What are they going to learn?
You have presented very strong women characters in your films. It is often said that cinema can ensure right conversations. How do you think such representation can impact change attitude towards women in the society?
Absolutely, we are. And, cinema, actually what happens is it's a cyclical thing. Cinema reflects what is there in society, and then society keeps learning from what comes in the media. I mean, they're exposed to it and they imbibe it. And then, it just goes on in a vicious cycle the whole time. I think that has to change. To start with, I think consciously, the censor board, look, the Central Board of Certification, what it does is it's supposed to certify films for adult or universal viewing, right? But what they need to do is that they need to have films where women are not objectified. And unfortunately, in most mainstream films, women are objectified. It has begun to change sometimes in some stray film, but that is more the exception than the rule. You have to stop objectifying women in the dances, in the way, a man doesn't take a woman seriously, a boy doesn't take a girl seriously when she says no. It's there in our literature, unfortunately. It's even there in our mythology that women are objectified a lot of the time. So a whole lot has to change, and it will not change overnight. It will have to start with, I think, families, mothers, women themselves. And I also think, by the way, Marya, that I really do think that women need to be able to protect themselves also, and not only depend on security or the state or the police. Tagore had advocated at that time women learning judo in Shantiniketan. I think it's very important for women to learn the art of self-defense. it's very, very important. I mean, our generation or even the generation after us, maybe it's too late for them, but the coming generations, the younger generations of women must learn the art of self-defense. I think if women don't defend themselves and they don't speak up for themselves and ensure all these things for themselves, nobody will.